Okay, I'm going to do the best I can to explain the pieces of this model that I put together for you. So I had it in my computer just floating around a shapefile called waypoints. It's just a point shapefile. It looks like, I'll show you what it looks like. Bunch of points, just like yours, just like your businesses. And I fed that as input to the IterateFeatures iterator. And this really doesn't have all that much in it. It just takes the shapefile, and then it gives you the opportunity to group the points into small subgroups. You could, for example, I don't know, group them into, if there are businesses, you could put all the shops together and all the restaurants together or whatever. But if you don't want to subgroup them, you can just use FID, and that's in fact the default. I don't think you even have to fill that in. And it will take each one individually. That's all you need to set. It puts out a value, which is a counter, which each time through the iterator that value number changes. And what looks like a shapefile. But it's just, I don't know, it's like a layer. It's just a shapefile that exists in the temporary workspace. In order to make it permanent, you have to use copy features. That's the same as like shapefile save. You basically copy the features from this temporary shapefile, which, as you remember, each time through the iterator only contains one point, and you save it. You give it a name, and I just let it save it to whatever name it defaulted to. Then you want to do point to raster, and this time, when I had it save it, I gave it a save name that included %value% with a capital V. And that will name, each time through the iteration, it'll name the file ww with the number of that particular iteration. And this is a bad part here. I chose cell size 100. I had no idea what size to choose. In my case, the original shapefile I have in here is in decimal degrees. Probably I should have used one that was in a projected coordinate system. When I ran this, I'll tell you right now, the extent got very large, and I could not see the particular pixel I had picked out. So, I'm just giving you the structure. You will probably have to fool around with the environment and the extent. But anyway, I did point to raster, gave it a name that depended on value here. And then again, that only makes a temporary raster that floats around in ARC's memory. If you really want to make it permanent, you have to copy raster. And that, again, I gave it a name, WS, for with a %value% that should name it after the number of the iteration you're on. So the first time through, it picks the first point, it copies it to a shapefile, it turns that point shapefile to a raster, and then it saves the raster. Then it goes back, second time through. Value is 2. Does the same thing. It should save it as WW2 and WS2. So if you go here, and this ran, if you go to add data, you will see that I have all these WS's. Those were the rasters. And WW's, those were the single point shapefiles. And it did run, and as I said, you probably have to mess with some of the fine details, but this is a structure that works.